Okay, so you may be wondering, living in a series, what do you mean by that, Elias? You're not an actor, you don't have, you know, the luxury to sort of talk about that, but that is not what I mean. What I mean is a tendency I have had before when I was younger, and I, started remembering this because I also ended watching a series not too long ago. And I wanted to talk about this. The feeling and the sort of comparison. You start to compare towards series, perhaps movies as well. And you sort of start to you compare the sort of the tempo and the sort of how things are viewed in the series compared to your own life. And you sort of see, and this doesn't necessarily need to be connected to like a series, it can be connected to life and the comparison towards other stuff that you watch, see, hear, whatever. And you see all these fast paced scenes in a series, you see all this sort of stuff, and you see like a guy reading a book, you see a moment some people come and talk about drama, whatever it is, and you sort of think that is what happens all the time. It happens there, therefore it should happen here, but it doesn't happen to you. Maybe it happens to all other people. Things happen all the time. They have things going on in their life all the time. They don't practice for schoolwork. They are just smarter. They do it just a little bit, and then they are ready, right? And then they get the amazing news that they passed and whatever. That isn't real. The sort of living in a series, you have to separate that and other things. You have to separate that from reality. You see people reaching success, but you are not there when they are working hard and doing all those stuff, right? The same thing goes to series, because you wouldn't watch the series because it isn't happening too much things aren't happening. You would watch it because things are happening all the time, and therefore it's entertaining to watch. But in reality, if I were to watch myself or somebody else the whole lives, or a whole day, whatever, I would have slept. I would have fallen asleep, right? Because there are moments where I'm sitting 2-3 hours working on school. You're not going to see that in a series, are you? No, you are not, right? So there's a difference here between the reality and the series. Maybe perhaps you're going to see that in a series because it's a new thing, right? But it doesn't happen really, I believe. So there are things you need to separate from what you're watching, what you hear, what you read. So as I mentioned, there isn't only series that you have to separate. It's other things. You see awards, nominees, whatever, and you just see people having that success, having those moments, but you're not sort of that involved in how they got it, because you're not living their lives and such and whatnot. So it's very easy to sort of compare, but you have to be able to separate that and sort of be aware. And I remember last time I had to sort of, this is a long time ago, but I had to sort of almost talk to, no, not almost, I did have to talk to a friend, or it was a family member, I'm not sure, about, I was a lot younger then, but I had to talk about like, what is why is my life so boring? Why isn't it like this person? Why isn't it like this person? And you know, I don't remember who it was, but it sort of asked these sort of questions about what do you think? Do you think they do it all the time? Don't you think they have to make money? Don't you think that they have to eat? Whatever, right? And that is basically it. We are all human, so we have all these other things going on. So, and that sort of thing won't be that won't be shown because it's not that exciting. It's not what's important in movies, series, whatever. And if it is, it's sort of very fast paced, or it's it's very fast paced, and all the sort of entertaining things that may not happen too much in all of our lives are very, set into the light. It's very I'm not sure how you say it, but yeah, it's set into light. It's very focused, right? The drama, what's going on, all these opportunities going on, and those opportunities normally don't happen too often for a normal person, or not normal person, but everyday persons, people. So you're going to have to sort of separate that, right? And yeah, maybe it isn't a big issue, but I got sort of, I was supposed to talk about this a while ago, and now I just sort of remembered it, and maybe people have an issue with that, and yeah, it can be a problem sometimes, and as I mentioned, it's not necessarily, watching a series, you're done with that series and you're like, all those hormones, dopamine, it's gone, and you're sort of, it's quiet now, right? But it's yeah, I forgot what I was supposed to say, but it's much more than that. And there's a reason why sort of series, there's a reason why the series are made this way, right? So they are more attractive to sort of keep on. And that same thing goes to social media. And like a series, no, not series, but posts. I'm posting pictures on the Instagram or whatever, sort of showing beautiful pics that I've taken, and not to sort of tell people that my life is perfect. That is not how I sort of see my life at all. And there's no such thing, I believe, but you enjoy some of these photos and you post them, but other people may think that's his everyday life, huh? Watching the sunset, taking a bath in that ocean, but it's not like that at all. But it's very easy to just do that comparison right away, because you see it and you're like, that's beautiful. Do I have something that's so beautiful like that? Do I have something? No. And then there you go, right? So that was basically what I was trying to say. And maybe it isn't that sort of crazy exciting, but hopefully it sort of can help some people. It's one of the reasons why I do this shit. Not because, not for the views. That's definitely one thing. But yeah. Hope you had a good day. Hope you will have a good day. I wish you the best as always. Have a laugh, have a smile, and be kind. And I will see you tomorrow. Yeah. Take care. And that was basically it for today. And it's always a joy to talk with you guys. Goodbye.